uh, kind of bouncing off what Carla said, being that the take and make programs, we focus on those a lot. What we decided to do for our summer reading kickoff is to have a take and make specifically tied into summer reading and do like a week-long kickoff for all age groups, and that we plan like a take and make program socially distanced in the library that they can register for, so they can either have the option of doing the take and make project at the library, or when they get there, they could just pick up their bag and go. But we thought we would do that as like, the summer reading kickoff and include the sign up information in the bags so that, they can just register right there. So that was kind of a way around that, normally we do a big event, but this year it's not possible. So.
Hey, Christine, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What does your adult department do for summer reading? Like they do something different than you, or what do they do for summer reading?
Well, they're gonna do the same take and make type of thing too, because across the board, adult, teens, and children, we found that the take and make model has been really successful. So, and they, adults, I'm not exactly sure how they track, but children's and teen, we, ask them to read a certain number of hours.
A couple people have mentioned Beanstack, and we also use Beanstack.
We do too.
We just asked them, and I'm thinking if they have enough other library systems that ask them the same question. So I'm, sneakily putting this out there because, if you ask the same question, but we asked if there was a way, now that there is, there's the downloadable version of it. We asked if there was a way for people to register by text or QR code.
Oh.
So that if we put out, on a story walk, or we put out on, the outside of our building or whatever, if we said something and said, text this number to register for a summer reading. And they said, that's a great idea. We don't have it. And so I'm just wondering if like all of a sudden a lot of people are like, hey, since we may not be able to allow people inside our buildings, or at least not inside them in large quantities. We were trying to figure out like, how do you get at people? And when you're like, oh, I'm sorry, we've already hit 10. You can't, you can't do whatever's the thing. So
that's a great idea. And honestly, I mean, we use Beanstack too, so we can definitely, let them know that we're interested in something like that as well.
Just don't give away that like Julia told me to, because then they'll be like, no, that only counts as one.
I think it's a good idea to ask Beanstack to do that, but you could actually do it yourself, because you could create a QR code that links to your landing page on your own website to sign up for summer reading, and just post that QR code for people to utilize. I still think we should bug Beanstack to do something as part of their software.
And I was thinking if you had a dedicated text line set up, like I use a Google Voice number to text with my teens, so I'm not using my personal phone number, but if you wanted them to text and it would involve a staff member getting the text and signing that kid up, but then that person up, you could do it that way.
That's a good idea. We use Remind too, the Remind app.
Right. Yes,
school
love
district
Remind.
does too. Yeah, that's great.
So this has been a thing that has come up during the pandemic about the teens, and I've have some other teen librarians that have like contact information for the teens that they see a lot, but I don't really see my teens on a regular basis, and I don't have contact information to like push out programming and things. I'll send stuff to schools and things like that, but what do you guys do?
Well, that's what Remind is for, because Remind, as long as you can promote Remind in some way. So I have it on all of my flyers, want to get more information about teen programs, and I give them, you can give them a QR code for Remind, and you can just give them the text, text to this number. And then you can, and then I use Remind, and you can set up different classes. So I have just a general teen news Remind class, and then I have one specifically for my high school book club kids and one for my middle school book club, because that's a monthly thing I do during the school year. And when I had anime club, I had an anime club one. So you can cater that. But they have to, the thing is they have to join it. So the initial part of it is,
But
and
it's
that way
great
you're not,
because it's attached to their phones, so they're essentially texting you back, but you can do like a blast, like Christina said, whatever group you have set up, like if it's your teen advisory council or whatnot. But you can publish that group code, right, Christina? Like put that out there, join, my group, whatever on social media.
like a, the at and teen book or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they're not saying your text phone number. It comes over as a different phone number.
There's no phone number involved because
Yeah.
there's actually an app, or they can do it on a computer. They can even email you. If they don't have a phone,
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
sign up for email contact.
Yeah.
And so there's no numbers involved, which is really nice. So it's all kept confidential. You're not asking them to give you their phone number.
Mhm.
And they're not seeing yours. They don't see a number. They don't see your personal phone number. I'm not allowed to
Yep.
use the app anymore, but
Oh.
for those that are, it was really helpful for me. It was really starting to build up a base. I started with my tag group.
Mhm.
But now I do my tag through email. And because I'm doing an Among Us virtual program. I started in December, started a little later than everybody else did. But it's been going pretty well. And I do another one. I've done one every month since December. And so I'm building an email database there because they have to register to get the Zoom link. So that's the only means I have right now. It's unfortunate, but that's all I have. So
Yeah.
it's better to have something like Remind. The kids are on that stuff already for school. So
You can, with Beanstack too, because you can require an email to sign up, and then you could ask them, can I email you for other things besides summer reading?
yeah, we're probably one of the few libraries that are not using Beanstack. I don't understand why.
We're not
No.
either.
No.
Well, I
okay.
know it's kind of expensive. So some libraries, you have to justify the cost. But since we use it for teens, children and adults, and this year I've gotten the adults now and the children's. I was the first one to use the activities, the learning track portion of it, so that it wasn't just about reading a book or reviewing a book. I also had activities like go, read to your younger sibling, or go to a museum. And last year I turned it into all virtual. Go to this website where you can virtually visit a museum, and so now we're using, and so children's this year has changed from blogging days read. They used to do how many, just read every day. And now they're doing activities. And one of the activities is read and different kinds of books. So the activity would be read a biography, or read about culture you don't know, that kind of thing. And so they're using activities as reading. And I think that's kind of cool. What kind of prizes do you guys do? That's always the hardest part for me, is trying to find better prizes.
We do gift cards. We raffle them off. They tend to not like the little tchotchke prizes, other than like we get the like the vinyl stickers. They love those. So we'll give that to them when they sign up. But then as far as prizes, if anybody knows of a way I can get a sponsorship to get, we're looking for AirPods this year to raffle off. And but I don't think Apple does a sponsorship request, so I gotta be creative.
Like Target, maybe, like if you could get someplace where you can get a gift card and then someplace that sells them. I don't know if you buy AirPods at Target, but
yeah.
We do the activities too in Beanstack, and we've been doing those since we started. So we're going to continue doing those this year. We're having no outdoor programs. We thought we'd try it, but we were going to be so limited, it just didn't make sense. We do have a couple story walk locations if you want to count those as outdoor programs. But in Beanstack, when you complete the activities, you get a ticket, and then you put the tickets in, and you can pick which things you want to put the ticket towards, so that you can sort of select what prize that you get in the raffle. And that's how we've been doing prizes. We did do a winter read, and the prize for that was gloves. And you could come in and collect the gloves. They came in children's sizes and adult sizes, neither which fit my hand. So I can't show you what they look like.
I'm trying to figure out if you have really small hands or really big hands, or the gloves are really small.
I'll hold up my hand so you can see. See that thing I'm bending? That's the pinky finger of the backhand. That's
Oh,
the first. So my hand is small enough to wear child-sized gloves, but they're useless because my fingers don't go to the ends.
We pretty much do like the you either read or do this activity or do whatever, and then you get a ticket, and put that ticket in for raffle type stuff. But we've always done that like with paper, and this year we're moving on and like doing something the same idea but on our website with like Excel sheet, Google Excel and things like that, or Google Docs. And then for prizes and things, someone else makes the decisions on that, but I know that we got 3D printers last year before pandemic, so we've been printing out like a little Among Us characters and all these fun things. Like for a winter reading challenge, we made little winter reading challenge 2021 snowflakes.
That's
and
cute.
We're using that to kind of hear a thing. And so we've been taking requests from the teens, like they want Five Nights at Freddy's figurine. We're like, so we've been trying to connect with that stuff.
That's cool. Mine has always been about gift cards and books when I have free books. And this year, because I couldn't have them come in when they want a book and riffle through all the books, in person. My IT guy set up a website, and so I upload the book cover and a description of the book, and I email them. So it's been a little more tedious because I send it to only 1 or 2 kids at a time who have won. Usually there's only 3 or 4 a week that win anyway. And as soon as they've picked which book they want, then I have to go into that website and I delete, if I only had 1 copy of the book, I delete the book from the website before I send the website link on to the next kid. But then I can put the book at the drive-up window, so there's no contact involved, and they still get, I have some nice donated books, and then we bought a couple, but mostly I've just been emailing all kinds of Amazon gift cards. I feel kind of guilty that I'm single-handedly really, adding to the Amazon profits. But when I give them their choice of Amazon, Chipotle, they used to really go crazy for Chipotle gift cards and GameStop gift cards. This winter and last summer, pretty much everybody wanted Amazon. So I'm just going with what, if we had better local stores that had digital options, I could also, do those. But we're lucky we have friends that even though now they haven't had any book sales for a year, they still have some funds, so we're able to pay for some stuff. But we want to, I don't know, get some different stuff.
Do any of you have 7-Eleven convenience stores?
yeah.
Yeah. The one near us is usually pretty generous, and they give us free Slurpee coupons.
Oh.
And so this year we decided we're going to do beach towels at the end as like their final prize. We'll do the raffle too, but attach a Slurpee with it. So they always like food, they're teens.
Yeah.
Yep.
We get ice cream cone certificates from a UDF. It's a gas station.
Okay.
Yeah, dairy farmers, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we also so we do the drawings. I guess there's 15 good big prizes once a week, and the kid and whoever wins can pick from that pool of prizes. But there's not a lot of things that teens want in those prizes. It's like a set of Legos. There's a little robot thing, a digi robot, or we do some gift cards. I think a Reds game at some point, but it's a set time and date. Hope you can make it to this game.
Not last year, but the year before, I had somebody donate $100 worth of items from, we have Five Below around here, right?
Mhm.
It was specific, and they said specifically for teen summer reading prizes. And it was anything from pop sockets to little, just not phone covers, but just little, you can slide your phone in case, to, I can't even remember everything. There was just an array of little cheapy earbuds. But the kids ate those up. They loved it. I had one kid that just kept going grabbing more books and going and reading. And she really did. She is a reader. She comes here all the time. So, and she just kept on reading and getting more. I'm like, are you reselling these or what? You're getting all these. I got a lot of the prizes, but that was really popular. I wish I could do it every year. I don't know that I can, get that again this year, but that was nice.
Cool.
I wanted to ask, is anybody doing like a final party virtually, or you have any thoughts on that?
We weren't doing virtual. From my understanding, they're planning on doing an in-person, but outside, weather permitting, obviously. And that's when we want to do. I hear a lot of people doing it during kickoff, but my understanding is our closing party would be like the pet parade and have the pet adoption clinic. And, I suggested the other day to have a stuffed animal adoption clinic too, because I've seen some people doing that. And I thought that was cute. And
Yeah.
not everybody can have a pet. So, but not virtual that I know of yet. I haven't heard anything.
We did a virtual party last year, and we quite honestly weren't sure how it was going to go, but we used this company. It was called the Murder Mystery Co. And they hosted, you pay to get the detective, and he facilitated this murder mystery party. And I have to tell you, I was laughing the whole time. It was great. It was so much fun, and all the teens came dressed up. They were really into it, and it was reasonable too. I think it was only like $200.
Oh, wow.
But if you get a chance to check it out, they do virtual parties. It's murdermysteryco.com. I'm not really sure where they're based, but that was a lot of fun. I was thinking about possibly doing it again this year, but just a thought if you have to do virtual.
My tag is writing a virtual murder mystery right now. Maybe I can get them to put something together live. That would be fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. We did a live one for the kids before pandemic, and it was a big hit.
Yeah.
And so I'm in Geneva, Ohio, and we are the home of Platt Spencer, who is the creator of Spencerian script. And so we do teach our kids in elementary school. They start teaching them cursive, but we don't have a huge focus on it like I'd like to see, since he's the creator. And our live one was based on a little bit. We went and had a little fun with it, so we kind of based it on his life, but we kind of embellished a little too. So there was true facts about him and his life and his things, because we have artifacts of his, but it was real fun. I think my tag did a really good job writing that. For our first one, we wrote the whole thing. So
that's awesome.
I put in the chat with Fairborn Library because I wasn't sure I couldn't figure out just to chat, but I think I found the murdermysteryco.com. You were right. And it says right on their main page that they do Zoom parties. So thanks for that tip.
Yeah, no problem. It was a lot of fun.
We're going to do our Battle of the Books again this year virtually. We did it last year the first time virtually. This is an event that we've done for over 10 years with my library and 3 or 4 local libraries, depending on the year, but where we do it in person, where everybody has read the same 4 books. And then, we have an MC who asks them questions and they have to buzz in. We have academic challenge buzzers. And so they answer questions. It's my only really, truly book related program. But now we're doing it on Zoom with Kahoot. And it worked really well last year. We just don't have a nice big audience to cheer them on. It's just the players, but doing Zoom stuff with Kahoot has worked really well. And we did a really good, I figured out how to do a virtual escape room using Google Docs, kind of by copying other people's and sort of making it up. And so I'm going to try and do another one of those this summer. I don't know if, in the summer, if teens will want to do that, but
I think they will. I'm honestly, I just wrote an email for my board report to my boss. My tag group alone, just my tag group, the last few meetings, they've been a little unmotivated and kind of blah. And so I'd stop and just chat with them. And then like I started this last meeting, I have them on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays I started off with just a silly game and got them laughing and having fun. And I think kids we all knew it was coming. We've all been worried about it. The screen fatigue, the isolation. I think they're going to really, really want and need some togetherness, and especially when those nice days are, and we can get outside and do things with them. Distance, I think it's very important for them. Extremely. I'm really seeing the effects right now. Some of my most outgoing kids are just like getting very introverted and hardly speaking and very distracted, and it's saddening me, but you know, it's something we need to address. I think that kids will really be looking for it this summer. So
Yeah, sure.
Not to mention we have the normal winter blah thing around here, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
just to add to that, you know.
We have the Humane Society coming to do we have like 3 big outdoor events that are kind of for everybody. They're not necessarily teen specific, unfortunately, but I think they'll come when they have younger siblings and stuff. So we have the Humane Society bringing their adoption clinic, and we'll have actual animals. And again, this is at a local, I think it's going to be at our city center or at our park. We're going to pay for a dinosaur drive-by thing that I'm not quite sure yet, but they've got this big like robotic inflatable or both dinosaur that apparently is really cool. And so we're going to be set up and people will drive past it to interact with the dinosaur. And I'm like, I don't know that teenagers are going to want to do that. They're going to get some sort of little dinosaur tchotchke as they drive through, but it'll be our opening. That's our kickoff event. So hopefully we'll have a lot of families coming, and then we're going to give them like a take-home bag with some sort of little activity. And hey, summer reading has started. You know, are you signed up? So we're gonna have a dinosaur thing, and then we're gonna have I think it's virtual though. I don't remember if we have a juggler that we tend to have every year or every other year who's really popular. Normally fills a room with hundreds of people, and we have 2 sessions, and we're trying to get him to come. But that's kind of it. I think the adults are going to do a virtual bird watching Zoom, learn about how to bird watch.
Nice.
So we're at the halfway mark. If you wanted to switch rooms, here's your reminder. We have some new people joining. But I just wanted to take a poll. How many people are planning on doing like 100% virtual versus like in person versus a hybrid? You guys might have already talked about this.
Ask us one at a time first. Like, raise your hand if you're doing.
Raise your hand if you're doing 100% virtual. 2 people. Okay. Raise your hand if you're doing everything normal. We're gonna be in person. Okay. Who's doing hybrid? Okay. It's a good mix. Yeah, not sure yet. I think so. I live in a small rural town, and no one is showing up to anything virtual. Like they just want in-person stuff. And so we're doing a lot of make and takes. And we're gonna try to do some programs in the park. But the teens are like, just give us our craft, let us read, don't talk to us. Like we're seeing a totally different group of teens now than we did last year. And it's the teens that are like the true readers, not the teens who are like coming and hanging out
For the free
because the
pizza.
library was at safe place. So
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of have to redesign how you're going to target them.
Our library is open and there's not really a limit of how many people are coming in or out. We're not really enforcing things like that. So our usual teens are back in on the computers all day again, but they don't really do a whole lot of, like usually it used to be like, if we wanted them to do a program, it's like, you are here now, let's do this thing. Some more pop-up programs, because they won't go to things, but they'll do it if we do it when they're there. So summer is always such an awkward thing for teens because they're not going to the virtual programs either, and I don't know what to do with them. So we're doing a lot of I think we're doing a book club this year virtually, but they're not really readers. They like to play Minecraft.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with them.
I think
go ahead.
Sorry. I think my library, the managers, I think they're still talking about summer reading and what programming is going to look like. But I think one of the options they're looking at is outside programming, which my location has three branches, and my specific branch, we wouldn't be able to do it because we only have concrete. So if staff wanted to do an outside program, we would have to go to one of the other locations. But one of our bigger locations has the grassy field. So they have the outdoor space. I just don't know how they would limit, because we still want to social distance and things like that. So I'm interested to see what that will look like, because I'm sure we'll get attendance. But yeah, that's all I got.
My Among Us program is attended mostly by, I don't want to say mostly, but definitely leans more towards my middle school kids. So my tag group, ironically, is almost all high school and one middle school kid. So I asked them what do they want? And they're really heavy into, they want me to see about getting a Minecraft server or Minecraft realm, or start doing some gaming tournaments, Mario Kart and that kind of stuff. So it sounds to me like that's what and I've got an array of students. They're not all gamers, but they're all saying that, do something along the lines of gaming. That's what we're into. That's what we're interested in. So if you're talking virtual, that's something to consider and think about, but.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we have a bookmobile and we have a van, and I don't know if they're going to use the bookmobile. I'm not even sure they're going to do this, but they sure like the idea. And I don't remember if I got this from another person on a webinar I did, or if it was something I read somewhere, or I have no idea with my brain. It might have just popped up, but I suggested that we go to area parks. No, I think it came up in another webinar. And I said, I like the idea of going to area parks, because where we're at, we have several locations we could go to, and go there during the summer and have some things, and say we're going to be there around the same time, this park at this time and this park at this time. And then I said it would be really fun if we could have some kind of music play, like the ice cream man, but it's a library van, and get them all excited about coming. And they really love that idea. I thought I was just being me and silly, but they really love that. So they're going to see if they can get that to work. I don't know for sure they're going to make this happen, but they really like the idea. And I fingers crossed, hope they do it, because I think that's another great way. So if you're able to, if you have those means and you have parks, even if it's one park, and that, teens might go there and hang out, they want it. They want the tchotchke. Think of book fairs. Even the high school teens, they want those. They want it. When book fairs came, I was a middle school librarian. I worked both jobs for a little bit a couple of years ago, and middle school and high schoolers, they were excited at the prospect of there was a couple of English teachers that did a book fair. And then they asked me to do another one, because I guess they can only do so many. So I did one in the library, and these kids still love book fairs, and they come in and they bought tons of books, and of course the tchotchkes, and and they still love that stuff. So I think if we can get to them, because there's a lot of kids that can't get to us, especially in the summertime. So if you have that means, if they have the means and they're willing to do it, and you have the staff, maybe it's something you can consider doing too. I really hope we get to do it, because I think it's a great idea. So.
Has anyone learned something from last year that you didn't typically do, but now you're going to add it into your summer reading mix? Because it was good, not because, social distancing.
Virtual escape rooms have been highly attended at my location. And something that I was supposed to do last year, but wasn't able to, was trivia using this site called Factile. And I did a Black History trivia in February, and I had low attendance just because we got it pushed out a little bit late towards like the middle of February, but definitely want to do that in the future. And I got a lot of great feedback from the kids that attended that and what they wanted to see as far as trivia.
Awesome. I cannot get my kids to attend a virtual program to save my life. Like, nothing.
Hello.
Hello. So what's the one program or activity or take and make or whatever? So one thing this summer that you're super excited for?
We are doing things for like younger kids. We have more like a kit, one for June and one for July that you can pick up and do all summer. And like the second one I made, it's like everything is steam based. So it's like the three little pigs, but like I gave them straws and sticks and like things to build houses and to challenge them to make houses and things like that. And all of these things that are like STEM based activities. And then we're going to make like pre-recorded videos on Zoom so they can watch us we'll show you how to do it, and they can watch it all summer long and stuff like that. And I'm just super here for science.
That's cool. I think we're going to I found a website where you can upload your own picture and convert it into a paint by number. And so that's going to be one of our craft kits this summer, and I'm super pumped about it.
What website?
I will have to look it up. I have it saved on my work computer, but I think I can find it from home.
I found a thing to make kind of like a marionette with like a paper towel roll and long sticks for the kids to make. I thought that was going to be kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, and
I put it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. We're gonna do a puppet show virtually, like pre-recorded, and then like between each puppet show, do like a little vignette of a thing, and we're gonna make a flea circus. Like we don't have fleas, so we're gonna fake it and like use strings to move this thing up and down till it looks like something's lifting it.
That is so cute.
And one of my coworkers has hissing cockroaches as pets, so we're gonna bring those in and be like the lions. It's gonna be really fun.
That's fun. So we're getting a lot of new people. Hello, welcome. If you didn't know where you were, you are in the summer reading breakout room. And we're just kind of talking right now about the programs we're most looking forward to, or the activities or whatever we're most looking forward to doing this summer. But if we don't want to talk about that, we can always switch it up. You can ask us any questions.
No, I just got here, so I'm sure you guys have probably talked about a lot of things. Is anybody leaning towards in-person programming outdoors? Is there a lot of that everyone is kind of looking for? Because that's kind of what I was thinking.
I am.
No, not
Yes,
here,
we're
unfortunately.
doing that. We did it last year and we're doing it again.
We did it for I do an adult book club too, so we did it for our adult book club because I have a lot of older people who actually still like to meet in person. So we just wear masks and social distance. It's fine. And then we do Dungeons and Dragons, but we had to, of course, when it got colder, we moved inside. But we just rent like the shelter houses. In fact, if we do it during the week, the park doesn't charge us. And we just borrow the shelter houses and we meet up there and we do programming. I do have so far, as long as everything goes okay, I have an Invasion of Normandy first person program. It's actually I want to say an adult program, it's probably all ages program, where a gentleman's going to come to the park and he's going to do a presentation for me of the Invasion of Normandy. And he's going to have a lot of things set out on the table so people can look at them. So I'm going to provide gloves, and I figure if they do it correctly, they can space out enough, and then he can be up at the front and everybody else can be in the park doing things. So I'm kind of trying to think of some other outdoor programs that we can kind of do. I have a scavenger hunt I would like to do around town, and they can kind of do it at their own pace so they're not together. But other than that, I was just kind of trying to figure out if anybody had any ideas of what they might be doing for summer outside.
In the past, we've done a lot of things that are like clean up the creeks and things. I don't know if you've got creeks and parks and things, but we have one of my coworkers likes to go out and meet people there. And that's something you could probably easily social distance as well. And like, look at this, like I found a frog and I'll talk about this animal. And since it's Tails and Tails too, we can like talk about the animals and habitats and things.
That's a great idea.
We're doing a Christmas in July because I kind of had to cancel Christmas, last year. So I have like reindeer coming for the Tails part.
Oh, cool.
Santa and Mrs. Claus agreed to come out, and I'm going to put them up on the stairs socially distanced where Mrs. Claus can read a story to the kids. Kind of like our finale. It's going to be on, Saturday, July 24th. So it's like the last day. We're going to have it in the evening, and I'm going to set up like socially distanced tables where they can get like a snow cone or some popcorn or some of the stuff we have, and give them a take and make craft that's like reindeer related or something. So, and then they'll learn about the reindeer, and that in the summer, it's the males that have the horns, and in the winter, it's the females that have the antlers. So little lesson, but I'm really excited about that one.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it should be really cute.
Every summer, our fire department comes and they hook up their giant hose on their ladder and do like a giant sprinkler. And so last year was the first year in like 15 years we haven't done it, and people were like devastated. So yeah, that's always a good one to look forward to. And it's free, the fire department just comes and does it. And so that might be an option depending on where you are. Usually the fire department also tries to like sneak in a little like fire safety, like change your smoke detector batteries, and if we come into your house, don't hide, that type of thing.
I know last year, because I was trying desperately to sneak in programming without getting in trouble by our director. I don't know how many people are involved in Pokemon Go in your community still. I'm an avid player, so I know the community really well. And I did a thing where I took Pokemon and I printed them off on paper and I hid them around the outside of the library. And then I gave everybody a paper, and then they could do it at their own time. So I did like, I think it was like 11 to 2. So anytime between the hours of 11 and 2, you could come to the library and do an outdoor thing, and you could do the scavenger hunt. So you would have to find the Pokemon, and you'd have to write down all of the Pokemon as you found them. And then when you were done, you brought them back, and then you would get a prize for that. And they really had a good time with it. And I had a little sign, like a dry erase board. And then I asked them which team they were for. Are you Valor, or are you, Team Mystic? And then we would write down. And so we keep tallies on which team had the most players show up. And then I did a drawing at the end. So as everybody submitted their forms, they got to put a ticket in, and then I would draw out a ticket at the end, and then somebody would win a prize. So we did it all outdoors. So they were able to walk around the library, and they could, and they came in at different times. Not everybody came at the same time. And I did it during a community day, which if you're not familiar with Pokemon Go, they do a community day where they feature a special Pokemon and you can get shiny Pokemon, which is a different color. And I did it kind of like before they did the community day. So it was kind of a prequel. And I actually had, I think, like 30 people. So I thought that was pretty good considering it was, I think I did it in September. Yeah, I think I did it in September. And so I think people are just still desperate to, they want to get in person again. They want to meet people, but trying to stay safe is the hardest part. But that's just an idea. If you know, it worked out really well for ours, and it was for all ages. So
I love playing Pokemon Go with my kids.
Yay, I do too.
My library's a gym now, so I just defeat them all the time because I'm like, ha, who is here all day?
I wish I could do that. I've tried, but they don't want me to do the gym. They just make us a Pokestop. I'm like, I want to be a gym.
We just became a gym, so I'm like super excited.
Yay, well, congrats.
Thank you. I'm so proud.
We've had in the past, our local state park has come and done a geocaching program for us, which that might be a fun thing. And they'll hide things around the outside of our building, and the kids have to use their compass and like go find it, and they learn all about like leave no trace. And again, it's a free program, but that could be, I mean, it was fun for the teens, but it could be an all age like family program too, depending on your budget and what you got to do.
I tend to seem, I guess I tend to do a lot of things towards teens and adults because I'm trying to reach the early adults that are just becoming adults that liked the teen programs, but now they don't have anything else to do. But if it's a program like, I also did outdoor pumpkin carving, tell no one. And we did, everybody got a pumpkin, they got the carving kit, and if kids came, I didn't turn them away, even though it was kind of geared towards teens and adults. If parents showed up with their children, I'm like, that's fine. I just counted in the stats, and it is what it is. But I hate to turn anybody away that comes looking for a program. So I'm all about all ages programming. But I like that geocaching. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And our local state park also does, I don't know what they call it, like a native animal program. And so they partner with the county game warden, and they'll bring in like pelts of native animals and talk about, where they live, and like bobcats are returning to our area. Like, this is where you might see them. So that was a fun one we've done in the past too. That was like more animal specific. And I think the state park owns like a groundhog or something that they bring. I don't know. I think they also have a skunk that's been
decent.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
But again, it's free, so it was fun.
That's fun.
Do you guys have like so for your outdoor programs, are you using any like PA system, microphone, anything to like help amplify your voice?
I generally don't need a microphone, but because I have a big booming voice, but I have considered getting one like for the Invasion of Normandy program so that the speaker could be heard, because I know, if enough people come, they're going to be spaced out. We have a lot of space, but I'm not quite sure what to get yet. I feel like maybe one of the little like the portable ones with the little earbuds might be good, but I haven't looked into them just yet.
Yeah, we have a Chatterbox that we bought a couple years ago that, like you wear around your waist. And that's what we're going to use, and it works fine, but I don't know if anyone has some great thing.
Yeah, we had one for our indoor programs that never got used, and I just told the director, I'm like, I don't need that. My voice is loud. I get in trouble all the time because they're like, you work in a library, why are you so loud? So I don't really need that, but I know in the past other people have used it, but I think it's so old now that the technology's way out of date, and I don't even think it works anymore.
Right.
I also was wondering, has anybody done a cemetery walk before? I saw that one of the other, I'm not sure if it was a library or if it was the history museum in one of the other counties has done, they do like a history kind of thing, and they did it at Halloween, And I would like to do one like around our cemetery and make it like in October and kind of make it kind of spooky, maybe do it at dusk. And then they could walk around and learn about historic figures. I was thinking about maybe seeing if the History Center would partner with me, but I didn't know if anybody else had done that.
We did one a couple of years ago with our local history museum. And it was well attended by mostly adults, but yeah, it was well attended.
Yeah, I feel like that's tends to be the ones that are the most loyal. Or the adults, they'll show up to everything. They're like, I'm going to show up because this is really cool. And the teens are like, come on, please just show up.
Yeah. So we do have about 10 minutes left in breakout rooms. If you're welcome to stay here, but if you're hoping to squeeze in another one, just a warning.
I am glad they're recording them, so then that way we can go back and forth and kind of see everything.
Have you heard anything before we came in here that sounded really neat?
They're mostly talking about take and makes and how they run those. And they were talking about whether or not their library is currently open and how that looks. So
Gotcha.
Most of them are from like larger systems that were using Beanstack. And so they talked a lot about the different features on Beanstack.
Gotcha. We are doing small programs under 10 right now. So I had a story time before this and got winded doing Fox and Socks as fast as I possibly could. And they were like, how did you not stumble? I was like, it was my favorite book as a kid. You get really fast at it.
You've had it memorized since you were 5. You're like, yes, I already knew this.
I just looked at her like, I don't know how I'm doing this right now. It's been years.
Although I find the older I get, the easier it is to remember stuff that I remembered as a kid than like stuff now. I'm like, now I had something I had to do tomorrow, but then I'll be like, oh, I remember that Bible school song from when I was a kid. I'm like, how do I remember that? And I can't remember something for the next day.
Yeah. So Kelly, you said you've been doing, you're doing in-person programming right now.
Limited. Yeah, I'm allowed up to 10 people
awesome.
total because we have several floors here. So, and I'm downstairs with all the kids' books and the teens. We're all downstairs and I don't get a lot of teens. So that's why I started attacking their Pokemon because I was like, you know what? You're going to want to come in and find out which ninja librarian just did that to you.
That's right. My name's pretty unique. So they're like, library lady. Oh, we know who that is. We're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Then I can ask them what they want to do. Like, what would you guys want to do with me? Like, what could I do to get you guys to want to come in and hang out? And I was debating this summer on doing for their event movies with like pizza and then, socially distancing because we have a big meeting room to where I can have 10 kids fit in one per big table and let them do that depending, things keep changing. So you never know.
Right.
Everything's tentative. Right now, all my activities for summer so far are set up outside. Except for I have some foxes and wolves coming and they have to be inside or they get too hyper.
Yeah. Now on your movies, are you doing the movies outside too, or are you doing those inside?
I haven't decided because we have a old theater in town. So I technically could have us move over to the theater that has seating, like a movie where I could have a few more and set up a projector. Cause I was like, I could pick movies based off of something that's a book, or something with a tail. Cause I really want to watch Never Ending Story, but I don't want to do it by myself again. So I might do that, force that one out there.
I understand. Cause you put something on and you're like, I'm the only person in here. And I'm like, really? I don't want to sit in here and watch this by myself.
It's already left me again. It's fine. It's whatever.
That's a great idea about the theater though. Cause we have the Holland Theater that they usually do, they do regular, theater performances, but in October, they did a Rocky Horror, which was really fun. And so they put it on the screen, they put up a big screen and they showed the Rocky Horror show. And then they gave us all props and then we, went along with the thing. So I know that would be possible. I wonder if my theater would like to, if they would.
Our theater loves to partner with us for things. So
that's a great idea.
Every time I call them, they're like, yes, what are we doing? And I'm like, oh, last summer before all this, I was like, I have a list. I had to call her back like, nah, I don't have a list. We're not coming.
Oh, I know, it's so sad.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just, I don't know if it's just because the virtual stuff after a while you just get so burnt out, or if it's just because I'm really old and I've been doing it for so long. I mean, I've been doing it for 21 years. I just think, I don't know, I just like in-person programming so much better than the virtual, and I just am better at that than I am the the virtual programming.
Yeah, me too. I feel like the virtual stuff is like going to be there forever. That's why I don't like the camera on. No, I'm a little shy. I'd rather not be recorded.
That's okay. That's why I showered and put some makeup and stuff on before I came. I was like, I don't know what you're gonna see, so I don't want to scare anybody.
My hair looks like a mess. I was like, there's no way I can do this.
That
Scare
is the one thing nice about when we were in lockdown. I mean, I could just roll out of bed and just be like, I'll comb my hair, it looks good, drink my coffee, I'd be in my pajamas. No one would know. It's fine. I was never late.
When we were all locked down, yeah, I'd come in and the doors are locked. I'm like, oh good, do I have to wear clothes or can I wear my pajamas?
Exactly. Yeah, we're not allowed to have any in-house programming at all. We still have people that, they just come in and they can check out. They can spend 30 minutes and they're checking something out, and computer appointments, but we really don't have anything else, as far as that goes.
We just started allowing that. We actually unlocked our doors this week.
Oh, wow.
So we're not doing appointments. Our doors are unlocked. And now we're open half a day on Saturday also, which I'm like, oh. That's okay. That's okay. I love sleeping. That's the only thing.
I know.
I was like, oh man, no sleeping Saturdays. Okay, they're gone. But
I remember a while back we did Sundays until we had the last budget cuts for the state. Then we had to start closing on Sundays to kind of counteract that. But we would be open on Sundays, and man, that was nice, because I mean, I didn't really like to work Sundays all the time, but it was double time, so I was like, I'll work the circ desk on Sundays. It's fine. And it was only a couple hours. It was only like 9 to noon or something, so it wasn't that.
I think our hours are like 9 to 1 now on Saturdays. Yeah. All on March 1st. Our doors are unlocked and we're fine free now. So interesting.
I think we'll probably go to fine free eventually, but so far we haven't. I know right now we just got a touchless kiosk, so that people can.
We got outside, we got like a locker thing. Is that what you're talking about?
No, we're getting one of those, but ours is on back order because I think so many of the libraries ordered them. It's like a self-checkout. You don't touch anything. And if you get your finger close to the screen, it clicks for you, so you don't touch it. And if you touch the screen, it yells at you, don't touch the screen. And then you just slide your books in and scan it. So you can just get your books and you can just check yourself out. You just scan your library card and scan your books and check yourself out. And so it's kind of nice. The only thing I worry about is that it takes the place of a human. So maybe at some point, there'll be less job openings if we have more self-checkouts.
Our neighboring library did like all self-checkouts like 5 years ago, and their constituents like revolted. Like they hated it. They weren't able to pass their next library levy, and they had to like get rid of all but one. And then people wanted in-person service.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
that's good. I think one is fine, but and I tried to tell somebody that was over there, and they're like, no, I want to go to I'm like, that's totally fine with me. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 minutes left. If you have anything else you needed to get out, now's the time to do it.
I think that was it.
Yeah, I thought about doing outdoor movies, but you have to have a separate licensing for outdoor, which makes no sense to me, but you have to have separate licensing. Even if you already have the indoor licensing, you have to have a separate one for that. So I like that theater idea. That's a great idea. And then I can
they'll probably have their own licensing on top of the library licensing. So you may have access to more movies.
That's a great
idea. I'm thinking, because we have our licensing, they have their licensing, and they want to advertise. They even offered to make posters for some of the stuff I was going to do last summer for me. And I was like, you guys are amazing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Was our time up?
I think
We
it's
should
probably,
get a countdown, or we can just leave. It's up to us.
well, thanks for sharing all of the cool ideas and stuff. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, we were gonna let one of the school groups do popcorn or something like
Oh,
outside, part of the gaslight, not me, because if they're selling it, I can't be a part of that. But
right.
like cheerleaders or somebody just to man the little booth. So
I
more
feel
in-
like that we're always tied. Our hands are always tied. We're trying to provide a free service and our hands are always tied because there's, oh, you have to have this copyright, or you have to have this, or if this is involved, you can't do this. And I'm like, why are you trying to make it so difficult?
you're hindering me.
Exactly.
I had to pull all my doctor suit, not all my doctor suits, just a few. The other day, I was like, no, I don't want to pull those.
We actually pulled
Two.
ours and moved them to a different section, like a nonfiction section or something, so that, you know.
We put ours in reference because they're selling, two of them are selling for like $10,000 online, and we were worried they're going to get stolen. So
Yep, I think that's what we're all worried about. I'm like, are you kidding me?